Hey, what's happening, Wargamers? It is Leland coming to you with another look at some Marvel Crisis Protocol. And this week I'm actually kind of excited because I was actually able to get my hands on a release that, by all intents and purposes, probably should not have made its way out. From what I understand, it was a goof by the distributor, letting it go a little bit early. Which means there were some retailers out there that were able to get their hands on it a little bit early. Now, for the sake of everything, really, I'm not going to say who I got this from. All I will say is that it was a very nice find on my part, and also given the nature of that, this was originally supposed to release Q1 of 2021. I mean, if I receive any requests from Atomic Mass Games to take this down, I will be doing so. But in the meantime, we are going to take a quick look at it. So, as you can see, this is the Angela and Enchantress box for Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass Games. And this is actually a really interesting one because I remember the character of Angela back when she was still in the Spawn comics, and it actually really surprised me when I learned later on that she had made the jump to Marvel. If I remember my comic lore properly, I think it was something like Neil Gaiman owned the rights to her or something like that, or someone owned the rights to her and it wasn't fully owned by Todd McFarlane. As kind of a screw you to Todd McFarlane in Image Comics, she made her way over to Marvel. So anyway, always kind of an interesting character there. Really interesting to see how she turns out in Marvel Crisis Protocol and Marvel just in general. So let's take a quick look here. And once again, given the nature of this release, I'm not going to be going over the cards too much. It'll be my typical thing. We'll take a quick look at it, the art, that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to go over really any of the real details of the card itself, because again, these haven't been officially shown by AMG yet, not to my knowledge. So we do have, we have a couple of these cards right here. From what I understand, she is part of the Defenders, I think, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy and as a part of Asgard, obviously. So, we got a couple things. Loyal Misfits, Rainbow Bridge, Grievous Wounds. So it kind of gives you an idea of what they are able to, or what the cards that come with it might be working towards. And of course, tokens, love tokens. And then, of course, we got the Enchantress card and the Angela cards right there. Right off the bat, I do like Angela's stat line. She is threat 5, 4s across the board with 6 health there. So she is a tough one. Enchantress has the 6 health at 4 threat with a heavy mind defense there, but not much on the physical or the mental. So she is not quite as tough there. And of course, I think that was the injured side we were looking at for Enchantress. But it does not. Oh, okay, a little bit tougher there, a little bit more health. Yeah, and quite a few abilities on each of them, some interesting stuff there. But anyway, what these videos are all about is always checking out the plastic itself. So right off the bat, we got ourselves one of the bigger bases. So that means one of them, probably Angela, I'm just going to take a look at the manual here, is on the larger base. Yep, it definitely looks like Angela is on the larger base here. And it is kind of nice. It looks like the instruction manual here does include the reference numbers for the parts itself. So that is always really nice to have. And something I really like about these bases, I don't know if I've talked about in previous videos or not, but I really like these extra little coffee cups, these little bits of garbage that come on the base sprues as well, just to get a little bit of extra something on there. So, the first sprue we have is the Enchantress sprue, and it looks pretty solid. She's she has sort of like the forward momentum. She's not pointing like a lot of the models are. And one thing I really like, there's not a whole lot of different pieces there, so we don't have to worry about all sorts of fiddly bits. It looks like there is a separate piece for the what's that, the face? Yeah, so it looks like the face has her own piece. Oh, there it is right there. But unlike previous models, it looks like this one's actually really nice and easy to go together. Actually, all in all, the model looks very simple to assemble. We got the leg there, and then that looks like an upper part of... Okay, yeah, so that's the thigh of one of the legs right there. So there's not really a whole lot to the model to assemble, which is really nice. I'm looking forward to this little mystical smoke stuff that they have. They've been doing some really neat stuff with that. Some variations on the typical tactical rock thing that we have been seeing. So looking forward to getting Enchantress put together. Angela, on the other hand, let's take a look at that. Is a lot of small bits there on Angela. Like a lot of small bits there. Let's see if I can get it to focus in here. Now, there we go. I don't see anything too particularly difficult there. Looks like she might be easy to put together. These ribbons have me a little concerned, though, because they are flimsy. Granted, they don't seem to have the same sort of flimsiness as, say, Ghost Rider's chain, but it is still flimsy nonetheless. I think it's going to facilitate me painting them separately. So I think once I show off the models here, you're probably going to see the ribbons on the base and whatever is needed to secure them. And then if I'm able to assemble Angela as much as I can off the base, or not attached to these ribbons anyway, that is probably going to be the case, because I think I'm going to want to hit the ribbons with a lot of the airbrush as opposed to traditional painting, just to get that through. Really dig the two weapons. I love this sort of like two-winded, I don't know if that's an axe, glaive, whatever that is, but I really dig it. I got the sword, looks very similar to the types of sword that Valkyrie is using, only with a little bit of an extra hook on there. That one's kind of an interesting piece right there. It looks like the torso itself is separate. I'm guessing that is probably the back piece right there that fits into there, which then has the breastplate put over top of it. But all in all, it looks like a pretty straightforward model to assemble. So anyway, what we're going to do, as we typically do, we're going to get these assembled, and then we're going to take a look at the completed models. So we have them completely, mostly completely assembled at this point, and just going to go over one by one. So starting off, we do have Enchantress here, and I gotta say the overall model is just absolutely fantastic. Like, I love the details in it. She goes together quite nicely. The smoke mystic effects are just great to look at. I do kind of wish that I had assembled it a little bit independently, just because it's going to be a bit difficult to get in there and paint the interior of her cape at the same time as everything else. But honestly, this mystical thing, that's going to take contrast paints really nicely. I think it's going to work really well. There are a couple gaps, but all things considered, not too bad. A little bit of liquid green stuff will do the trick. AMG has really gotten better with their designs. Everything is just coming together a lot more tightly, as it were. The models themselves, less gaps, less extra work that needs to be done with it. Just going to get up here and get the details on there. There still does seem to be a little bit of soft details, but not nearly as many. Like, for instance, Valkyrie had some really bad soft details. It was kind of tricky with that one. Same with Spider-Gwen. But Enchantress seems to just be an all-around great model. I love that sort of forward movement going on with it, without so much being like that typical pointy movement. She does seem like she has that. She has a little bit of forward momentum. Her hand is up there to sort of like, use whatever her powers are to sort of entice the person ahead of them or not. So yeah, just a great model. I really dig it. I think this has probably been a really strong character pack. Next up, we got Angela, and we're going to start with her base. These things have me worried because they are so flimsy. They look good, they look neat, and they affix to her back rather easily. She's got the two little grooves back there that fit them in there, and thankfully there is enough give on them that I'm not too worried about having to install that later. But yeah, these things have me worried. She's going to be tricky to transport as a result. But thankfully I was able to put them on separately because I just want to give the ribbons a full airbrush detailing. I do kind of wish they did something a little bit different than just the X's and O's on the ribbons themselves. I think they could have done something really cool with some Futhark runes or something like that. But beggars aren't going to be choosers, and that's what we got. Now, Angela herself is easily one of my favorite models. I think this is such a great model. Like, the two weapons being held right there, the motion in the hair, she's got sort of like that kicking off motion without being too over the top, I guess is the word for it. Like, just in general, she is a great model. I love that two-handed weapon there, the sword in the other hand. The armor itself is not over the top. It works really well with it. Just in general, everything has a really nice sense of presence to it. And it feels like she's just going to be a nice presence on the table. She's going to stand out. She's going to be something that players pay attention to. And quite frankly, I think she's going to be a lot of fun to paint up. So anyway, that is the Angela and Enchantress box. So it's the CP28 from Marvel Crisis Protocol. Absolutely great models. Really looking forward to painting them, using them on the table. They do round out the Asgard affiliation. At least I think Enchantress is Asgardian. I have seen the list for Angela. She's in Defenders, Asgardian, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy. So really looking forward to getting some paint on them as I continue to blast through the various models here. And yeah, looking forward to the next couple releases. And just keep in mind that, like I said earlier on, if there are any problems with me posting this and I get any requests to take them down, I am going to be honoring that, because obviously I don't want to be getting anyone in trouble. I don't want to be doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. So just going to comply with that. But of course, as always, at the end of it all, hopefully you guys enjoyed this content. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, happy wargaming.